Hi Cafe team. I just wanted to walk through with you how we do a full system clean of our Franke Cappuccino machines. I know you're all accustomed to, at the end of a shift, you always do a full rinse and you steam out the wand and you empty the grounds and clean out that container. That's awesome. We definitely need to do that after every shift, but at least once a week we need to also do a full system clean. So we're going to walk through that step by step. There will be pictures on the screen that will show you, but I think it's a little easier to understand if we just really do it. So the other thing to know is that we can do both machines at the same time if you would like to, and you need a few things handy before you start. So underneath the right-hand machine in the cupboard, you will find all the supplies. So this box actually contains brush and this other little almost bottle brush that you'll need. You will also need this cleaning solution, these little cleaning tablets. There are 2 pitchers. If you clean the machines at the same time, you'll want both of them out. If you're just doing them one at a time, you can just use one. And then the other things I would recommend having is a roll of paper towels, and then a clean towel and a clean washcloth wiping towel that you're gonna not get wet at all because you wanna use it when you do the bean hoppers. So, all right, let's get started. If you're coming back on a different day to do this, you're gonna need to wake up the machine just like you do when you start a shift where you're opening the cafe. So for the purposes of speeding this along, I've already done that for today, but you would just tap the screen and enter the code that we normally enter to warm up the boilers. The next thing you wanna do is go up to this top left button that says Franke and tap that, and you're going to enter our code for cleaning, which in this case is 6823. Okay, and then it's going to give you some options. One of them is cleaning and maintenance, so just tap that button and then go over to the left hand side where it gives you a list and it's clean system. Do you want a clean system now? Yes, I do. So as soon as I do that, it comes up with 4 different pictures. And they do tell you what to do, but they're a little bit confusing. So I thought we would just go through and do them together step by step. So the first one is open the door, and then it's going to tell you to clean the top of the brewing piston with a brush, clean the brewing unit with a paintbrush, and clean the brewing piston filter with a paintbrush. So that means you're going to open this with the left silver button on the top. And you have to take out your grounds unit, which usually if we have shut down a shift will already be emptied and cleaned out. If it's not, we'll do that during this. This is our piston unit, and before you do anything with it, you're going to take this little brush and kind of work it around inside there and go down in the little chute and just sort of loosen up any coffee that's in there. Now, one thing that the directions did not mention is that you want to actually take it out. So we're going to turn this little red hook, and notice the position it's in, it just lifts right out. This little curved piece is going to go towards the top and angle down whenever we put it back in. So I'm going to actually take that to the sink and rinse it off gently and then dry it really well before I put it back in. Okay, so I just gently rinse this off, and then I'm drying it kind of carefully. There's a little bit of grease on it that's supposed to be there to help the machine work, so don't worry about that. Then I'm going to set it aside to let it dry, and I'm going to use the paintbrush to kind of go back behind where it was and just dust off any loose grounds. And you'll kind of see they all pile up on the bottom of this area here. After I have paintbrushed it, we're going to put this back in, and again, this little curved part, the blue line is up and the little curved part is pointing forward, and you just go in at an angle, click it back in, and then turn the red hook so it's vertical. All right, so once we've done all of that, we can actually hit next instructions. So it's telling us to remove the grounds container, which is kind of out of order because you have to do that in order to clean what we just did. And to clean the grounds container, which if you're coming back a different day, this should already have been done whenever we close down the cafe. But if not, or if anyone has used it since, you can go ahead and wash this again, dry it really well because grounds get kind of moldy. And then it wants us to clean out this bottom part with the paintbrush again. Okay, so I just washed out the grounds bin and dried it really well, and I'm just gonna set it aside for now. And the next thing we do is take this paintbrush, and we're actually gonna just scoop all the grounds forward and off the edges, make sure there's none there that can get moldy or nasty. And then I actually use the damp paper towel that I just dried the grounds bin with and just kind of scoop it out. Makes it easy. And then we can hit next, and it'll tell us what to do next. Okay, pull the locking slide all the way to the front. Remove the bean hopper by lifting upwards. Wipe dry the inside of bean hoppers and reattach the bean hopper. So what that means, there's this little red lever right here, or pull, and you have to pull it forward pretty hard, actually. Don't break it, but pretty firmly until you feel these release. So I'm actually gonna grab a stool now and go up and grab them. So these will lift right off once that red lever is pulled. And I just dust them down on the top. And then you want to use a completely dry cloth. It can't have any moisture at all, to take off the lid and just wipe them out. These have just been recently filled, so I'm actually not even going to wipe them out. But if they're low on beans, you can go ahead and use the dry cloth and kind of wipe around the edges and make sure there's no dust buildup or anything. And I know the other one was just filled too, so I'm not gonna take it off. Then you put it right back on, and pushing this back into place will relatch it. You'll feel it when it connects. And then they're stuck. You can't lift them anymore. So we can hit next. Actually, I didn't need the stool. And it just is telling me what I just did, which is push this all the way back in to lock them down. Okay, insert the grounds container and close the door. So this is already clean. You can put that back and close the door. All right, now it is telling me to clean the components right here. So the first thing is the spout. We remove this by pushing in on each side and pulling down. And it's kind of hard to get it out sometimes. There we go. And then lift up on this tray, and I'll take those both to the sink and wash them down and dry them and bring them back. Okay, so I rinsed those off and now I'm drying them, and I'm just gonna set them aside for the moment. And again, I'm gonna use a damp towel and wipe out this drip tray. It gets some grounds in it as we go along. So just wipe that out so it's nice and clean. And then we can put this back in. The little circle goes over by the steam wand. And this just clicks right back into place. And then it's gonna tell us insert a Franke cleaning tablet. So that's these. And they actually go, you just get one. And right between the two regular hoppers, regular beans, there's a little door that lifts up that actually doesn't go into the coffee beans. It just goes down into the chute for cleaning the system. So I'm gonna drop the one tablet in there and hit next. Okay, so the next thing that it tells us to do is fill 900 milliliters of cold water and 50 milliliters of milk system cleaning solution in this measuring cup. So we're gonna take one of these measuring cups, and this is the cleaning solution, and you're gonna have to loosen the second side. It should measure right into this. Hopefully our future bottle will, but for now we're just gonna measure 50 milliliters into this cup. And it's marked really well. So I'm going to go to the sink room and add another 900 to bring it up to 950 with cold water. Okay, so as you can see, when you add the water, it's going to foam a little bit. That's okay, because we're about to foam it anyway. Okay, so this actually goes, steam one goes in it, and you have to kind of tilt it all a little to get it over here, and the steam one will go pretty deep. And then you hit next, and it's going to start the cleaning. This is going to run for about 5 minutes before it's time to rinse. Okay, so it's just finished the clean cycle with the cleaning solution. It's really hot, so be careful. But it's going to tell us to empty the cleaning container, rinse it out, fill it with 1,000 milliliters of cold water, and we're going to do exactly the same thing again. So you have to kind of tilt it. Okay, so I have my pitcher of cold water, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. And just hit next, and it knows what to do. And I should mention too that if you skip any of these steps, it will not let you hit next. So if you don't actually pull the lever forward for the bean hoppers, even if you're not going to empty them or change them, you still have to pull the lever and push it back again, or it won't let you go on to the next screen. Okay, so it just finished. As soon as it's finished with the rinse, it actually will just come back onto our service screen. And again, this is really hot, so be careful. And the last thing you do is wipe everything down. Make sure all the cleaner's off. And then you're going to hit the Franke button on the top left again, and hit the power button and hit 2025 OK. And now it's going to do a final rinse, and then it will shut off and it'll be ready for the next use. So the very last thing we want to do is put away all of our supplies. Those go down in the cupboard below the right-hand machine in the left door. And then all of our drainage goes into these 5-gallon jugs through a tube. And so we need to empty those jugs, and then we are finished. So if you just gently reach down and pull this forward, you can pull the tube right out. And we're going to dump this outside. And then we'll replace the jug so it can get the water for next time. Okay, now you want to be sure that you get the hose all the way back in. And once the jug goes underneath, the hose should be going pretty much straight down into it. And then we can close the cupboards and we're finished. We need to do that with the other one as well. And that's all there is to cleaning the machines. So that's all there is to it. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video. Thank you especially for cleaning the machines, and thank you for serving in Faith Family Café. We really, really appreciate you.